Science Fiction Saturday. So yeah, we're just going to get working on this thing. I'm going to do some changes because my mind is not working on this that well. So we're going to do some changes here. Imagine that, like changing up a painting, you know, but this is what I do till it works. I always remember when they took x-rays of Monet stuff, of Rembrandt's especially, and they were just absolutely shocked how much he changed up things. And I said, that's what we do. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here and kind of go with white just so I can, for my own guidelines. Okay, remember, this is our vanishing point right here. Okay. So we're going to kind of go from here to here. And this thing is going to go down. And then up. Kind of loosely. And then got that same thing starting over here. Now I got the Blue Danube going through my head. Right here, we're just going to go right on down. Right on down, right on down the road. Okay. And that's kind of like our points here. And then, doing the same. Hey, Diane, and happy birthday. Hey, Billy. Did I do that one time to you? I do apologize. I got to stand back and get my brain wrapped around this one. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Excuse me, but I am going to change some things up. All right. Change number 342 coming up. We're not going to do that. But I'm gonna because it's supposed to be rotating, that means the gravity is over here, okay? And it might be just a mind bender. We'll just stick with that. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stick with that. It's gonna be a mind bender. We're gonna put the spaceships, and you'll see them all like this, tops of buildings. You're looking at things that make you go, Yeah, I think I'm gonna change that because that's just gonna people you'll actually have people fall down trying to look at it. Beautiful day here, a little bit overcast, so it's not so blasted hot like we've been having it. Okay, we're gonna head on down the road. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Back to my original thing where I had the ships like this. Technically, if it's rotating, you'd have the gravity. Well, maybe we bend it just a little bit, you know. $67. Well, you're not that much older than me. I'll tell you that one. Yep. I'm approaching the big 6-0 this March coming up. Man. Time goes by quickly, doesn't it, Diane? Yeah, but happy birthday. Happy birthday. That's for darn sure. Yeah, I'm just not liking this. So we're gonna come back in here. Get those out. You know what? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Diane. Happy birthday to you. Oh man, I'm in voice today. Oh, I missed my call and I should have been an opera singer. Coming up there. There you go. That's what you need to do. You always should do something for your birthday, in my opinion. I know there's some people who want to just shy away, but I said, like it or not, that's another year, and you need to celebrate it. And not much. You can't do anything stopping it. So why not? Why not? Oh, that's great. Sounds like you're going to have a good time. I have a friend. You probably have all seen him on my video. Sometimes he's filmed them, and he's the guy that did the profile pictures, and he also did the that little promo video that I did. He's turning 40 this Friday. Big 40. He's old. I'm old enough to be his dad, though. My goodness. I would have gotten started a little young, but not that young, Gosh. Like I said, that's why I always tell young people, I said, don't sit around. Before you know it, you sat around too long. And there's truth to that one. One day you're the up and coming new thing, and you're the young man before you know it. Oh, look at that old fart over there. That's true. That's how fast it goes. It's real easy to get wrapped up in all the problems of everything, and before you know it, time roared by. Time never stands still. Doesn't matter what's going on with you, never stand still. And it's up to you. How do you make use of that? Mike Trapp's lessons for the day. But it's so true. And the older you get, the more you realize it. Like they always say, make sure you take some time to smell the roses, you know? There's a lot of truth to that. And I'll tell you what, you also need to be thankful that you lived this long, too, because I've had friends that have died younger than me, you know. Hello, Mavis! How are you doing? Greetings, Mavis! Gotta say happy birthday to Diane. Yeah. She's our birthday gal. Happy birthday. Ooh. You'll probably say you can shut up now, Mike. We went to this little town called when my mom, I forget when it was her 40th or it was her birthday. Let's just say that. And we used to live in a place called Wenatchee, which is in central Washington State, and there's a little town that they turned into a Bavarian town. It used to be just a little dump, but it was turned into this Bavarian town, and we went to a German restaurant there, and the gal came out with her accordion and sang happy birthday to my mom in like 5 different languages. It was great. I think my mom just couldn't believe it. It was fun. Yeah, I'm going to move this back. I'm about ready to trip over this darn thing. Oh, there we go. That's better. My glorious studio here. Happy birthday to you. Why should celebrate your birthday? Now I got that song stuck in my head. Happy birthday. Birthday go. Of all the birthdays, I think was the most difficult for me was turning 30. And the reason for that, because I wasn't happy where I was in life. And I was in kind of a dead-end, miserable job, you know, and it was just kind of like one of those, you know, but things rapidly improved later on, you know. So, but yeah, we all go through our rough periods. But for some reason, 30, it wasn't that I was no longer in my youthful 20s. It's just that I was still going nowhere with anything, you know. And I think that was it right there. There's our vantage point for this particular wall. So we're going to bring that up a little bit. But yeah. But like I said, be patient. Yeah, 40 was actually pretty good for me. I was in a happy situation. I actually celebrated my 40th birthday on the beaches of Hawaii, so that didn't suck. Yeah. There we go. Needs a little fixing there. Got it. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, my big 6-0 is coming up. That's a few months away, so but I plan to celebrate it. You betcha. You could either celebrate it and turn 60, or not celebrate it and get all depressed and still turn 60. It's or your next stage or whatever it is. That's you like it or not, you still turn that age, and that's that. Or you could be like Jack Benny and always turn 39. If you people remember who Jack Benny was, probably you don't, Billy, because I think Jack Benny was probably completely gone by the time you were born. But Jack Benny, the master of the pause, that's what they called him. I always thought that was cool. To you. Happy birthday to you. Oh, you're like, okay, Mike, enough. Yeah. That's one thing I really like about Facebook. I'll tell you that one. It sounds funny, but if people put their actual birthday or the birthday down, it helps you remind you of their birthday, and I think it's kind of cool. I do like that feature. Happy birthday. Yeah, yeah. It's still gonna be like a circular space station, but yeah, they've mastered artificial gravity. I always figured that artificial gravity was going to be discovered through use of magnetation or something like that. Maybe you'll have to drink a iron juice or something like that. And these giant magnets will hold you to the ground. And my sister's a Leo. Yeah, you can tell Leo the lion. I learned that for just safety reasons. As a child, was just simply do what she tells you to do. Yeah, that's probably why I've made it this far. She always terrified me. Everybody who meets my sister says, "You just simply have to do what she tells you." You say, "Yeah, that's my sister. We love her, but yeah." She'll probably smack me now for saying something like that. I love my sister though. Well, we'll have to say happy birthday to you tomorrow. All right. Happy birthday. Okay, let's start in here. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna do a smaller brush here. Oh, excuse me, you probably heard that one come out. Ah! Okay, sit back. Yeah, I'm liking this better. Constantly looking for my rag. You could be my son, Billy. I think you're the last of the millennial age, right, Billy? I think. I'm trying to think. I think so. Because we got generation. I have a friend who's 25, and he's Generation Z. So, but I'll tell you what. I to be honest with you, I get a little tired of where we define generations because each generation has its own, and it has its own people. I don't know. I mean, each generation is a little bit different, but not near as different as people think they are. That's one thing I've noticed. I mean, obviously, like your younger generations are more whiz bangs with the technology because that came about. Yeah, and there he is, Mr. Merrick himself. Oh! I'll probably have the police called on me now. Yeah. Gotta say happy birthday to Diane. Yeah. Buddy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. One up here. Excuse me. Goodness. Who you? uh, I had a bit of an adventure, Merrick, going downtown yesterday. The Max, our light rail, hit a car downtown, so everything was shut down. And I was sitting there at the Beaverton Transit Center, and the driver said, "Well, we're going to have to stop at Goose Hollow and turn the train around." And they were just sitting there and sitting there. So I decided, "Oh, the heck with it! I have not been on a Portland bus." So Mike walked over and got on. I asked the driver, "Are you going downtown?" And he said, "Yep." And so got on that one, went down Canyon Road, and it took a little while to get down there, but it was quite the adventure. And then I got off the bus a little too early, and then ended up walking the wrong. I walked down one street and realized all the streets were shut off because of construction. And I was like, "Oh gosh!" And so I ended up. It took me about an hour to get downtown. Normally it takes about a half hour, so it wasn't too bad. But no, quite the adventure though. I thought that was kind of cool. I was able to ride the bus. I was able to get around on that bus. So it was a nice bus too. Yep, learned how to get around, but I should have stayed on the Max because it actually started taking off. And of course, by the time I got downtown, the Max was up and running again. They must have got the car cleared out. I've been in the Max one time when it hit a car. I was like, "Oh Lord!" And I'll tell you one thing: big train versus car loses big time. Luckily on that one, when I was on, nobody was hurt or killed. It was a miracle nobody was hurt. Absolutely, the guy ran the red light. The Max couldn't get stopped. Hit him hard, and that car actually went airborne and up and over, and ended up on a sidewalk downtown. It was just, my God, that was amazing. Nobody was on the sidewalk where the car landed, and nobody was hurt. It was just absolutely amazing. I mean, the poor driver of the Max was shook up. It was not his fault whatsoever. I mean, he did nothing wrong. It's just like that smacked that car. Total of the car, needless to say. Yeah. What hit you? A train. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh. I think that they said the Max is 55 tons. Each car, I think, is 55 tons. So that gives you an idea. I'll tell you one thing: Max is smoother than a bus. That's for sure. Yeah. All right, we're putting our spaceships in here. They're all docked up here. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah, worked off some of this blubber. Yeah, I'm technically right at the end of the baby boomers. If I was born in 1964, then I'd be generation, what's that, X, I think? I believe so. Don't worry, Merrick. I'm gonna be adding a lot of stuff, so your vertical might not be too affected here. Really? Tuck and cover. I tell you one thing. I just roar at those 1950s nuclear drills, and I was in the military, and I got a news for you. If something like that kind of hits, it's tuck and cover and kiss yourself goodbye. It's like those things are, no, those things are lethal. But that's depressives. We'll not talk about it. All right. Oh, I'm going to have that song live in my head forever. Okay. Now we're getting another one down below. That's our point. So we're going to aim at that. That's the vanishing point right here for this particular wall. This one has several vanishing points. Lesson in perspective. You can have multiple vanishing points, but everything has its vanishing point. Well, I got some good news. Another bar is interested in showing my stuff. So we're going to have a meeting a week from tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Yeah, I lost this one bar because unfortunately they changed ownership and it ended up good that I was no longer involved with them. Yeah. Just, I'll be right back. Out through the mystery door and behind the mystery curtain, out comes Monty Sales. I remember as a little kid, let's make a deal. And I always thought he was the richest man in the world. Oh, yes. Oh, still with them, yes. But I have a show coming up with them on January, February. But I really want to have two venues. And that's about all I can handle is not more than two venues. Because, I do work and all that type of stuff. But I didn't want to be totally reliant on scandals. I think the whole thing with this pandemic kind of taught us that, things can happen. And so I thought that was I actually counted how many paintings I have available for a show. Right now I have 30 paintings available. So if this new place suddenly wants me to have a show, I could actually pull it off, So, yeah, but I'm looking forward. Yeah, we'll see how they have nice, big, giant black walls. And I like when that's perfect for artwork. And the thing with black walls, the art pops out. You don't even need to have that much lighting. They'll just pop out. Yeah, so like I said, we got a meeting 2:30 on Sunday. So looking forward to that. They seem like really nice people too. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I told you that renters gallery thing didn't work out, but that's, what? I've always looked at things. Sometimes when you get turned down for something, sometimes that's actually for the best. So, but yeah. But I think Scandals is going to be the Lighthouse show. So we will do that. go from there. I know there's been off and on interest from Newport, which is on the ocean here, but the logistics of that is going to be quite difficult. I may be asking Lorenzo, whatever your name is, Merrick. God, I've only known you for 10 years, you know. But yeah, but we'll I'm going to see what they say. I hope they don't have too big of ideas, you know, but it'll be fun. Oh, how many do I have now? It's like, oh, gads. I think like 9 or 8 or 9 or something. And I want to do a couple more. And I don't mind doing the same lighthouse, but from different angles, because some of these photographers just phenomenal. And I might actually call it the Oregon show, you know, the Oregon Coast show or something like that, because I've had a couple, you know, they've given me let me use like the photographs of the amazing bridges that are caught in the sunset and stuff like that. The Oregon coast has these beautiful bridges that dot all the way down. They're big arch bridges, and they're just spectacular. And that's got to be one of the most scenic drives there is. It's on Highway 101. Logistics, what I mean by that, Diane, is to for me to get out to Newport, it's about at least a 2-hour drive. And to get the artwork there, and it would have to be really worth my while to do it. And so there is a lot of logistics involved. There really is. Okay, couldn't help myself. But yeah. But it's actually quite the effort. A lot of people don't realize that to do an art show. I am very lucky and very happy with Scandals, because Monroe, who is actually the manager of the bar, he actually hangs the artwork for me. I just have to get it to him, and so and that's really nice. I don't know if Monroe realizes how easy he is to work with. And every time the show's over with, there's the money, you know. they're already settled up, and we're done. And it's awesome. And one thing I have always done, and I recommend this to any artist out there, if they ask you to be there at 11 o'clock in the morning, you be there at 11 o'clock in the morning. Don't sit there and because there's some artists, they have this, I don't know what it is, but they have this attitude, and it's like, no, there's no attitude here. Okay, this one is actually, let me get the handy dandy painter's tape here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, this wall over here is also the same point here. The other walls are start going to here, and then we go here, and then so forth. You don't see the other ones, so we don't need to have a vanishing point over here, unless I decide to put a ship in here, which I might, and that means we'll have a vanishing point over here. But as long as it's along the same horizon line. Yeah, he runs that bar. I mean, that bar's been doing very well. I mean, I was worried, during the whole COVID thing, and that they weren't going to make it. God, I mean, how do you make it when you are actually 100% closed? It was like, oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to ship right here. Whoa, couldn't help myself. Got excited there. And we're going to modify these ships. They're just kind of being thrown in there right now. I told you this one's going to take a little longer because it's a big painting. It's not a big painting, but it's going to be a lot of detail to it. Happy birthday. Yep, got that song going through my head. It's all your fault, Diane. It's all your fault that it's your birthdays today. Yep. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize what an effort it is, and to set up an art show. And the thing is, too, every time you transport paintings, you always have the possibility of damage too, and that happens. I've had that happen to me. Had a canvas get dented really bad, or I had one where it was a wooden painting and the frame split on it. Things happen, and that's why when I people, why aren't you showing here? And I says, it needs to be really worth it. It really does. But you need to do a show if you're going to be doing this, and I love doing the shows. I mean, I used to have little racy shows. I think those are the past. So I've always been surprised I didn't get hit. The art is supposed to be for fun. That's what you've heard me say that 100 million times. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the truth. I think each decade you should do something sizable, you know. I need to read more. I'll tell you that one. I used to, when I was on the light rail, that's when I got my reading done. And unfortunately, I'm a social butterfly, so always end up talking to somebody. But I've been going in so early that I'm afraid that I'm going to fall asleep on the darn Max because when I have to go in, I'm not used to getting up at that time, and so I have this fear that I'm going to end up at the airport and I'm going to have to call the offices. Well, there's going to be a little bit of a delay. I'm so sorry. I used to read quite a bit. I can remember I have a friend that's big into science fiction also, and he gave me an order. I had to read Dune, and that is one big book. I mean, it's 900 and some pages, Dune. And I was visiting my sister in New York, and so I got quite a few pages read on the way there. It was a smooth flight, so that was really good. So I got quite a few pages read. And then I was planning, well, I'll read a whole bunch more pages coming back and maybe get the book done. And it was such a rough flight coming from New York to into Portland that there was like half the flight was there's no way you could read. We were buckled in. It was really rough. And so I said, Brian's going to get mad at me. I'm not done with this book yet. So I that night got home. I didn't have to go to work the next day, so that was good. And so I did a power read. I read I think it was 200 and some plus pages that night. And I got done. I said, yes, he won't be pissing me. Yeah. It's an epic book, that's for sure. Holy cow. That one needs to be down. But yeah, I keep saying I'm going to read more. That's always my goal. You should see all these stacks of books that I have next to my bed with the plans of reading. And my problem is I start reading and then I fall asleep. But I do like, ships. All these ships stacked up on there. I'm going to see ships coming out of here. In fact, let's put one in right now. Excuse me, goodness. Yeah, one of the biggest books. I actually, when I was in the army, I was a lieutenant, and the battalion commander always would assign book reports for us to read, and we'd have a list of books you could pick from. And I actually picked War and Peace. Oh my God, you want to talk about epic, but it was so funny because I'd be sitting on top of my tank waiting to go down range to go do gunnery exercise. And usually you'd sit up there on that tank for sometimes as much as 2 hours waiting to go down line. And so I was sitting there reading War and Peace on top of a tank. Yeah. My crew was saying, "Oh, we got a brainiac for a lieutenant." Oh, yeah. But it would be like 25 degrees, and I'm sitting on top of the tank and reading War and Peace. So I actually got the feel of their cold winter and everything. That's in the book. Yeah. God, it's been so many years since I can't even remember I know it was about the 1812 invasion by Napoleon, but yeah. Oh. But it's interesting. The book is actually a critique on the Russian royalty at the time too, for lack of preparedness. Oh, I that's rare that. Well, when I was in college, I remember reading 1,000 pages in one night. Whew, man, that was I don't know if I could do that today. Yeah, I need to. I keep saying that, and I have these darn books next to my bed, and I managed to read War of the Worlds, and I'll tell you what, I highly recommend that book. I really do. I actually read that cover to cover. It was like, God, you got to understand why that was such a popular book, and what an imagination from War of the Worlds. That he knew that Mars. We're talking about a book written in 1898, and he was talking about the Martians. He knew that Mars was 38% of our gravity. And so when the Martians got out of their crafts, the big cylinders that landed on the ground, they flopped to the ground immediately. And I said, well, this is, you have to remind yourself, this is a book written in, 1898. Most people, to this day, when I do some trivia questions, which is bigger, Mars or Earth, and you'd be surprised how many people will say Mars is the bigger planet. And I said, no, it's not too much bigger than our moon. It is, but but it's not hugely bigger. That's the brainiac of me. War and Peace. Oh, that was God, I forget how many pages that thing was. I think it was a little over 1,000 pages. And there's our vanishing point, but this structure, vanishing point, is over here. So we're going to aim at that. I think one of my favorite, and he just recently passed away, McCullough, and I think one of my most favorite books for nonfiction was Building of the Brooklyn Bridge and the Panama Canal. And wow, that just really brought everything to life. And what was interesting about the building of the Brooklyn Bridge, it really brought out the whole thing of the sheer corruption that the engineers ahead of that project had to put up with. They also discovered the bends, because that was the first time digging that far down into the ground that you had a pressurization problem. And I remember and the telephone was invented later on during that construction. And the guy who was the head of the project said if we would have just had the telephone, we would have had a line down there and we would have known that there was a problem. They said we didn't know that they were having a problem down there. And so they lost several people to the bends. And they said if we would have just had that invention, that we would have saved a lot of lives. You could tell he was still later on. He was still upset about that. Which I would have got. Yeah, that would have been terrifying. You didn't know what the heck is killing these guys. And that was it. It was the bends. They pulled them up too fast, and it was decompression problems. It was a fascinating book. But what really was interesting, the corruption. He would have these inspections of the iron that was going into the bridge, and he learned real quick. You'd have the inspection, then you go away, and they would switch out the iron again, and then he'd come back and nail him. It was just like, God, yeah, because you can't have any bubbles or anything. I can only imagine like a structure like this would be the same thing. You cannot have weak spots in whatever material you're using, and you don't think about those things. What these skyscrapers that go up, there cannot be bubbles and stuff like that in the steel or the I-beams because that will break. Well, we made some progress, did some changing around. I wasn't liking how this was, but we'll kind of loosely. It's science fiction. Underline the word fiction. I think some people lose track of that one. All right. Well, we're getting there. That hour went roaring by. We're not quite there. We've got a little time. Working on it. And Diane, you make sure you have a wonderful time tonight with your dinner and with your friends. Have that wine. Open another bottle. Have a good one. Gotta have fun on your birthday. It's your birthday tomorrow, Merrick, isn't it? If I remember right. Yep. My gosh. Okay. Well, hell. God, I can't believe how fast that hour goes by. You're always sloppy. Just kidding, man. I got criticized because I would make jokes like that, so I'll be careful with that. No, I have a great time tonight. Seriously, Diane. Really have a fun time. And Merrick, what are you doing tomorrow? right. Okay. There's just one last thing I want to do. Then we're going to call it tonight. Add a little bit of blue to this. Yeah, it's too light. Still working on that house. They're putting up a big, giant fence. I don't know. I thought it would always be kind of cool if I had just gobs amount of money to the point that it was ridiculous. To the point where they actually had a clear forest just to stack my money, I thought it would be kind of cool have a big castle. Oh, I mean, medieval castle, one of the classic ones, That'd be kind of cool. All right, on that note, people, I need to call it good. We're just sketching things in. That's a little sloppy. Even when I take a progress picture, it kind of looks bad when it's really sloppy like that. We're gonna, this gonna have some detail to it. Same thing here. Oh, I couldn't help myself. Sorry. Call that good. On that note, thank you for joining me. Got some things done. Rinse. I'm going to come in with some solid black here. There we go. Okay. And on that note, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Happy birthday, Diane. And tomorrow I hope to talk with you, Merrick, but happy birthday to you, too. So, all right. Whoa! We got our space station well underway. So take care. I'll be back on. I'm planning to be back on tomorrow, probably at 11 a.m. again, Pacific time, right here in Oregon. And I'll be working. I might actually start a new. Lighthouse painting or a new Portland cityscape. I got a couple buildings in mind that I really, really like. We have these cast iron buildings that are downtown that are just phenomenally amazing. So I might do another one of those. So we'll see what you're doing tomorrow. But we'll get done with this one. But sometimes you need to set something aside so it doesn't get too repetitious. So take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening or wherever you are on this planet. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you to those healthcare workers and all those people keeping the economy going. Thank you. Thank you, Billy. Happy birthday to you, Diane. Oh, robust.